WWE 2K23 is dead, and when I say it's dead, I mean it is dead. No, but in all seriousness, WWE 2K23 is seriously dead. They haven't improved any of the mods. The game feels the same as 2K22. The actual game itself is good, but like I say, it is very repetitive and it's the same as 2K22. They didn't update anything, and the game mods are down bad. They didn't add any new mods in. Let's start off with My Rise. My Rise in 2K22 I thoroughly enjoyed. They had so much creative freedom. There was multiple storylines. You could go from Raw to SmackDown to NXT, interact with the general managers such as William Regal, Adam Pearce. Who was the other one again? It was Mandy Rose, and it was just very fun altogether. And I had high expectations for 2K23's My Rise, and I've only played The Lock, but I find it hella boring. The game is so boring. There's no freedom. You're just stuck on one show. No creative freedom. The storylines are quite boring. Once you win the title, you have to quit. Once you've won the title, there's nowhere to go. The story just ends, and there's no freedom at all. There should be the place to walk around like there was in the old SVR games. I was very much let down with My Rise this year. Next year, they need to improve it a lot, and I've got an idea of how to do that. In my opinion, 2K should bring back Road to WrestleMania in replacement of My Rise. The last time we saw Road to WrestleMania, if I'm not wrong, was WWE 12 with that crazy ass Sheamus storyline, which was absolutely mental, where he won all them championships. It was insane. But honestly, the Road to WrestleMania storylines, you could have 3 women's storylines and 3 men's, or 4 men's, 2 women's. Create your own. But personally, I think it would be incredible. Have 4 or 5, 6 maybe storylines, so you've got so many hours of gameplay to have, a lot of storylines, a lot of freedom, backstage areas to explore, interactions with other wrestlers. Maybe you create your own wrestler, like I say. But honestly, My Rise to me, it's run its course. In my opinion, they should bring back Road to WrestleMania, but maybe they won't do that, seeing as it's a different company that runs the games now. But hopefully we'll get to see the return of Road to WrestleMania next year. What do you guys think in the comments? Was Road to WrestleMania better than My Rise, or do you prefer My Rise? Let me know in the comments. The next game mode I'm going to talk about is My General Manager. Now, when they were hyping this thing up in the trailer, saying, "Oh, we're going to give you all this freedom," I mean, Xavier Woods and Tyler Breeze, whatever his name is, saying, "Oh, we're having all these different game modes and match types and booking decisions and new draft systems and whatever the hell they were trying to say." What are they called? I don't even know. Honestly, they were hyping it up like crazy, and I was actually getting hyped for this. And my GM is so bad. You can play it once or twice, and that's it. Once you've done it once, it's the same every single time. You're limited to what you can do. The draft system's just boring. The whole thing to me is just lackluster. They need to go back to how it was. I know I keep mentioning it, but back in the SVR or 7 days, I never even played that game, but I've seen the clips where you could do trades. You could interact with people more. There was more storylines. You need to be able to put promos on there as well and actually see your promos. That would be a lot better in my opinion. But to me, they need to seriously improve My GM for next year. Otherwise, I don't really see anyone going to be playing that very often. Moving on swiftly over to Universe Mode. Probably the mode that most of us play the most, and the one that this year hasn't given us much enjoyment. Universe Mode is the exact same as it's been for the past 5 years, even worse maybe. You can't cut promos anymore, which is a big issue in my opinion. Promos are a vital part of any show, whether you're booking Raw, SmackDown, NXT, promos are vital. And another thing is, they're not letting you actually have... Well, there is a lot of freedom in Universe Mode, but back in the WWE 12 days, I don't know if any of you remember, but that crazy storyline, Universe Mode, they used to give you some storylines too. That one where Brock Lesnar came in and just attacked everybody, and he made his debut like he did in real life, returning from the UFC. But they need to add stuff like that in to make it more interesting. I've complained a lot in this video, and I'm sure a lot of you guys agree with me. I haven't even got to the worst part of this yet. You know what's coming. My Faction. The absolute cancer to WWE games that is My Faction. Nobody plays this game, and if you do, I'm sorry, because I'm just sorry that you live your life that way, because My Faction is the epitome of absolute crap. I'm sorry, I don't have any words to describe My Faction. You've got to pay to get these little cards to collect that nobody cares about. You go into like full V4 games that have only just made online that nobody plays anywhere, so you can't even find a game. It's honestly so bad. My faction, they need to either seriously improve it to make it a bit more like FIFA Ultimate Team, or just absolutely scrap the whole thing and call it an utter failure, which is what it is. I'm sorry for the rant here, guys, but my faction, I'm sure we can all agree, is an absolute waste of time, waste of resources for 2K, and just a waste of space. Get it gone now. I do not want to see my faction in WWE 2K24. Get it gone. Now that I've covered all the major modes on WWE 2K23, I'm going to tell you what I would do to improve 2K24. Obviously, I've already given you my ideas about reintroducing Road to WrestleMania in replacement of My Rise, but I have some other ideas that I hope you guys like as well. The first idea is so simple because it's just, they can literally do it so easily. It's just reintroducing old match types that used to be in the game, which I've got no idea why they got rid of in the first place. Stuff like an I Quit match, Inferno match, where Inferno matches back in the day used to be crazy with the big smoke going everywhere, and it told you how hot it was in the bottom right corner. That was crazy. Like Kane and Inferno match just hit different. Like a special guest referee match where you can either control the referee or the AI can be the referee. They are very fun. So, for example, if you've got Cena and The Rock and The Undertaker, Cena might help The Undertaker win if he doesn't like The Rock, for example. Then that will make things a lot more interesting. And another idea would be to reintroduce a buried live match. By reintroducing these old match types, it'd give people a lot more time to play the game, make the game a lot more interesting, make online games more interesting, which, by the way, they need to improve the online servers and also make the game cross-platform and cross-generation consoles, because the game is way behind its time in that department, which that's another thing they do need to get sorted ready for next year's game. Last thing that I would suggest that 2K could do to improve would be to, similar to how they did the 30 years of WrestleMania in 2K14, I believe, to do the 40 years of WrestleMania this year. So pick the best match, or what they think is one of the best matches from each WrestleMania card, or the biggest match. So you could have Rock versus Cena, Rock versus Austin, Austin versus Brett, Shawn Michaels versus Brett, Kane versus Taker. So many classic matches. Hogan versus Andre. Obviously, you can't have the AEW wrestlers in there, but it gives you so many matches to play as. Because I thought the Cena showcase from this year was a bit of a letdown as well. The last few have, like the Rey Mysterio ones, they just haven't hit as good as the old showcases used to, like the Attitude Era one and the 30 years of WrestleMania one. So I think by reintroducing that, it'd give us a lot more to play, and we'd spend a lot more time on the game. A lot of replayability there as well. If you can play as either wrestler, that would be very good. So 2K, if you're listening, get these things in, and I appreciate you guys all for watching this video. If you want to see any other videos, recommend some in the comments, please. If you've made it this far, comment here so I know you've watched the whole video. I appreciate you guys for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.